Hi everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video I feel like we need to have a talk about Kagami in Lies. So I've got a lot of new subscribers recently, so hi if you're new, it's really nice to have you. But maybe one thing you don't know about me is my very strong dislike for Kagami. I really do not like her, and as a result, because all my other subscribers know this, they were expecting me in the commentary video I did on Lies to get a lot, I guess, angrier about Kagami in that episode and the way she acted. However, when I watched Lies the first few times on the day the episode came out, I actually felt really bad for Kagami, and as a result I didn't actually get all that angry in the video. However, Lies has been out for over a week now. I've watched it several times. I've rewatched my own commentary video on it a few times just to work out what I was saying, not because I enjoy listening to myself, just to refresh my memory of what I was saying. And I've been looking through the comments as well, and I am now a lot more angry than I was when the episode came out about the way Kagami acted towards Adrian in that episode. And I just wanted to talk about it. So I know I also promised in my Lies video that I was gonna do a video about why I hate Kagami so much, and this isn't that video. In order to do that video, I unfortunately need to rewatch every single episode Kagami has been in, and I just haven't had the time to do that yet. I will do it eventually, just not right now. So this video is just about Kagami in Lies, not about Kagami in the whole show. So firstly, one of the things I was happy that she didn't do in the episode was that she wasn't pushing Adrian into the kisses as much as the other screenshots had led everyone to believe. Definitely a lot of the screenshots that were released early on and a lot of the trailers, Adrian looked really hesitant to be kissing Kagami, and in the actual episode it looked like he was actually, he seemed fine with it, he seemed like he was into it, which I'm happy about. I've had guys tell me before, and I don't know if any of you have had this experience, like I'll be showing them something on my phone and they ask to take a closer look, so I give them my phone, and then when they've finished looking I say, can I have my phone back? And they say, yeah, you can have it back, but only if you kiss me first. So it's definitely not a very nice thing for people to be like, I'll do this thing but only if you kiss me, or just try and push a kiss on you without wanting something in return. You know, it's not a very nice thing, to be honest. So I was glad that wasn't the case. Secondly though, let's talk about the scene in the art room with the posing. When I first saw the episode, I thought Kagami's dialogue gave an interesting commentary about Adrian's personality and about how his model poses, they weren't who Adrian truly was, but also his Chat Noir pose wasn't who Adrian truly was either, and that's purely because I feel that Adrian has like a lot of identity issues. He's not really sure who he is as a person, and his personality lies somewhere between who he is as Adrian and who he is as Chat Noir. He just hasn't quite figured out the right mix of cheekiness and kindness and gentlemanliness. That's not a word, but you know, he hasn't quite figured out who exactly he is. So I thought she gave a good commentary on that. However, Adrian, as ridiculous as he kind of looked doing the Chat Noir pose in his civilian clothes, as ridiculous as he kind of looked, he definitely looked a lot more comfortable like that compared to the model poses, but she just so rudely dismissed him, and I just thought that wasn't cool, Kagami. Thirdly is the charm that Adrian, it falls out of his pocket at the boat, and I don't physically understand why Kagami didn't give it him back. We could argue that she didn't know how much that charm meant to Adrian, but neither of those things explain why she wouldn't give someone something back, and she still doesn't give it him back until the day after. Like, why? Like, you could have given him back straight after he dropped it. He dropped it, you noticed it, you had a tiny scene of dialogue together on the banks by the boat where you could have given him the charm. Like, for her to essentially hold this charm hostage from him until she works out why he was lying and what their relationship is going to be is kind of, in a way, emotional manipulation that is taking on a physical form with the charm, and I did not like it in the slightest. And you can just see by the look on Adrian's face when she pulls it out of her pocket when they're outside Hotel de Ville at the birthday party for Prince Ali. Like, you can just see on Adrian's face how much that charm meant to him. I feel like Adrian's facial expression in that scene was a mix between oh gosh no, I've just been caught out for lying. And also that charm means absolutely everything to me. I carry it everywhere. It's from literally someone I perceive to be one of my best friends, one of my first friends, someone he's been through a lot together even though he doesn't know that. Like, yeah, why didn't she give it him back? And I'm kind of hoping we never really see Kagami again. I'll be happy if we never see her again. I mean, she's in the opening credits, so I'm assuming we will see her again. So also in Lies, in that scene where she shows him she has the charm, Adrian says, oh, it's a lucky charm that Marinette gave to me. But because they're about to go into an argument, I don't really feel like Kagami really twigs anything about Marinettes. But if people tell her again at some point in the show that Marinette gave it to Adrian and he carries it everywhere, and that also, on from that, Adrian made another charm for Marinette, he gave it to her for her birthday, and I'm also pretty sure Marinette carries that everywhere, I feel Kagami might get a bit angry. Because I just feel, so in Riposte, the first time we see Adrian and Kagami together, they talk about Marinette and how she wouldn't cheat and that Adrian views her as a really good friend, and Kagami's like, oh, you really like her, and he's just like, she's a really good friend. But I feel like Kagami, even though she's not the most emotionally intelligent, she kind of understands that Adrian has feelings for Marinette, but isn't aware that he does. So I feel like Kagami does know that. So if she finds out about like their two matching charms, I know they're not technically matching in like what they look like, those charms really look nothing similar apart from they've got the same red string in them, but they were matching in that they made them and then gave them to each other. Like, I feel she might get a bit angry, to be honest. So the final thing I want to talk about is, of course, the fencing scene at the end of the episode. And whilst I definitely think Kagami's emotions in this episode were all valid, I feel like there was nothing she was feeling that was a bit strange. I think all of her feelings were valid in this episode. The way she physically expressed those emotions weren't okay, and they will never be okay. Violence is not okay. And like, fencing isn't a violent sport. I did fencing before in primary school. We got to do like this taster day of different sports. And I know it's not a violent sport. I know it's technically sword fighting, but it's not like pirate sword fighting. When you do stage fighting in like drama school and stuff, that is not the same as fencing. Stage fighting, which is arguably more violent, even though it's safe, it looks a lot more violent. It's very different. It's really not violent in the slightest. And the fact the teacher had to step in to stop Kagami, like she's literally meant to be one of the best fencers. Between her and Adrian, they're meant to be like the best fencers in Mr. D'Argencourt's class. She should know like correct fencing etiquette, and I'm sure she does know correct fencing etiquette, and in my opinion she should be thrown out of the club. I'm assuming Kagami may leave the club, or at least take a break from going to the club for the time being, but like, that shouldn't be allowed. I used to do kickboxing. I know this is a bit weird, I know I'm quite girly, but I used to do kickboxing when I was younger, and I know compared to fencing, kickboxing is quite violent. I'm painting a very weird image of myself. I used to do kickboxing. It is quite violent, but it's still safe. Like, there are loads of safety measures that undergo kickboxing matches, and also things just like normal boxing matches, wrestling matches, judo matches, anything like that where it's violence of some kind. There are a lot of safety precautions taken, and if anyone in my class was using skills outside of the room to hurt people, they got thrown out of the class. Like, fair enough if you get attacked, use them for self-defense because you have some knowledge, but to go out of your way to attack people because you've been trained to know how to fight someone to a certain degree of skill, like, that's not okay. And in my opinion, from my background of being trained to be a kickboxer, don't ask, it's really not allowed, and I do think she should be thrown out for that. So I hope we don't see her again in the show, but she's in the opening credits and she does have the Dragon Miraculous. You should just give the Dragon Miraculous to Chloe, that'd be a great idea. I hope we never see her again. But I'm assuming we will see her again. But if she does, I hope Adrian doesn't become friends with her. Be civil with her, but I hope he doesn't become friends with her because she has physically hurt him. So whilst yes, Adrian did emotionally hurt Kagami, in my opinion it was largely unintentional. To Adrian it was like a necessary thing he had to do because he's Chat Noir and he has to save Paris. Kagami intentionally physically hurt Adrian, and that is not okay. And I know I'm going to get some people in the comments who absolutely love Kagami and talking about how she's a sheltered child, she didn't know it was okay. Well, guess what? I was also a sheltered child, and I knew it was not okay. Even when I was under the age of 5, I knew it was not okay to hurt any of my friends or just other people in the playground. Just in general, I knew it was not okay. So saying Kagami is a sheltered child is the worst defense I'm ever going to hear. If you're going to leave that in the comments, don't bother, save your energy of typing that out. I don't care if she's a sheltered child. People who are sheltered still know that physically hurting someone is not okay. So don't try and defend it. If you've seen my other videos before, you know I 100% welcome discussion on my videos about whatever topic I'm talking about. It's the reason why I have this channel, because I don't really have anyone in my life to talk to Miraculous about, so I want to talk about it with people. And feel free to try and dispute what I said about the pose and about the charm. 100% go for it, do your best, try and change my mind about how I view those scenes. But if your defense for Kagami physically hurting Adrian is going to be she didn't know because she's a sheltered child, I'm just going to save you the trouble now, don't bother typing it out, because that's not a defense at all. Like, no. It may explain it, but it doesn't excuse it. It doesn't make it okay for her to do that. If she really truly didn't know, it doesn't make it okay. So yeah, like I said, hope we never see her again. We probably unfortunately will see her again, but just know every single time we see her, I will not be having a good time. Yeah, I hope Adrian's alright. Like, he goes through so much trauma, but because this is a kids show, they can't really talk about it. Like, his dad's kind of emotionally abusive and Kagami's doing that to him. It's just, yeah, she emotionally manipulated him with the charm and then she physically hurt him with the fencing class. It's just one thing after another for this boy. I hope he's okay. Even though he's not real, I say that a lot. Like, I hope the character's okay, even though they're not real. I just have too many feelings about this show, okay? So like I said, I'd love to know what you think about Kagami and her actions in this, but please do not try and defend her being violent, because there will never be an excuse to do it unless she was defending herself, which she wasn't. So yeah, bit of a weird video. Maybe everyone will hate me after this, I don't know, but I will see you in the next one. Bye!